Okay, this is to show you how an interrupt works. So what's going to happen is every time I push this push button down here, it's going to jump to this interrupt service routine. You'll notice that if you look through the assembly code and even the C code, I don't explicitly call the function. It only gets called. So when I press this button, what's going to happen is it's going to automatically jump to this C function. And then inside this C function, it's going to call the ISR assembly function. So if you look inside the main or inside the assembly, you'll notice that you don't explicitly call this. So what I mean by that is like you don't see inside the main function me doing something like this. And you shouldn't do that with interrupts. It's triggered by a hardware signal. So in this case, it would be the push button. So once you have everything configured, once I push the push button, it'll go in here. It'll print this out onto the console down here, and then it'll call this port F ISR assembly function. So I put a breakpoint in here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to run it, and it will, when I'm running it, all I'm doing is looping here, doing nothing, and it's just waiting for an interrupt. And when I push the push button, you'll see it go to this breakpoint, and you'll see it also print the statement down here. So I'm going to go ahead and run it. So right now it's running the program. It's actually just looping inside this main loop. So like if I were to put a breakpoint here, you'll see it stop there. And if I hit run again, it'll go back to it. So it's just looping here. So I'm going to let it run. And then when I press this, you'll see it print the statement and then go into the ISR. So I'm going to let it run again. We're also not debouncing, and I'll talk about that later. So it may trigger it once or twice. So I'm going to go ahead and press it again. We'll see it go into the ISR and put that print out. So we're not debouncing, so that's why it triggered it twice. And if I go back to the main loop and put a breakpoint, it should be looping back inside the main loop.